What is up, beautiful people? You're watching Maine Motorsports. I am Jake. And today, I want to honor the late Kyle Busch by listing off my 10 favorite Kyle Busch Cup Series wins. Kyle Busch has 63 of these, so it was very hard to pick 10 favorite. These will be in no particular order. I'm going to do chronological from like the earliest win to the latest win. Disclaimer, this is my personal opinion. There are no crown jewels on this list. It's not the 10 biggest Kyle Busch wins, the 10 most iconic Kyle Busch wins. My personal 10 favorites. Some of these wins have personal connection with me, made me feel something, and also just certain things about these wins, certain things that Kyle Busch did in these wins really stood out to me, and I'm like, yep, that's going on the list. So, let's get started. The 2007 Food City 500 at Bristol. This was the first race with the car of tomorrow, the COT. Mixed reviews over the years, but Kyle Busch, out of all four of his Hendrick wins, this one stood out to me the most because of what happened after the race. He just won the first race in this brand new car, holding off Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton in a great finish. The stands were packed when Bristol could still sell tickets in that spring race. Wow, this kid just won the first race in this new car. How is he going to react?
For Chevrolet, so glad we could do that for everybody, but I'm still not a very big fan of these things. I can't stand to drive them, they suck.
Well, the good thing is, though, you scored your first short track win.
I can't stand to drive them. They suck. Peak Kyle Busch. Even after winning the first race in the COT, he's still speaking his mind. He's not like, yeah, this car's pretty good, got some things to work on, but our car was great. Nope. Nah, this car sucks, man. And like, that was the first time, at least in the Cup Series, that Kyle Busch really showed that side of like, I don't care, I'll just speak my mind. He showed it in the Busch Series, he showed it in the Truck Series, but that was the first time that I remember him doing that in the Cup Series. Great win, by the way, too. His last win at Hendrick Motorsports before he went to Joe Gibbs Racing. That one stuck out to me the most, though. An iconic victory for Kyle Busch right there. And I want to point out here, this list will be very 2015 onwards heavy. I became a fan in 2014. I was 11 years old. So this race in 2007, I was 4. Had no idea what NASCAR even was. So I went back and watched a lot of these old Kyle Busch wins. Watching them live as they happened create more of a personal connection. Just letting you know right there. It's not the 10 best Kyle Busch wins, my 10 favorite. The 2008 Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. Kyle Busch went on a tear this year. His breakout year, winning 8 Cup Series races. The most in a single season of his career, tied with 2018. He had a lot of big wins that year, obviously. But I picked this one because of the fact that he sadly was never able to win the Daytona 500. He won a couple times in the Exhibition Clash race in February before the Daytona 500. I think he has like 2 Clash wins. But this was the only time in his career he won a points-paying race in the Cup Series at Daytona. Dramatic fashion too, big wreck on the last lap, that awesome Interstate Batteries green electricity car. And this was the start of Kyle Busch really becoming a championship caliber driver. He was still young though. But out of all those wins in 2008, this one, after watching all of them, stood out to me the most just because the fact that he never won the Daytona 500. This is a glimpse of what could have been if he did win that race. The excitement and the crowd going nuts, booing him. We'll never know, sadly, but his only points-paying win at Daytona I decided to put on this list. The 2013 Auto Club 400. This is one of the best races all time. I watched those last 11 laps on a weekly basis, that dogfight between Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Mike Joy going crazy in the booth. The last lap battle, Logano and Hamlin take each other out. Kyle Busch just nonchalantly passes them both on the outside. And this is kind of like foreshadowing. People weren't really upset that Kyle Busch won that day because at the time, Logano was coming into his own as a villain, and Denny Hamlin also was kind of in some stuff with Joey Logano, but it kind of foreshadowed what was to come because down the road, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano would both have their spotlight as the most hated driver in NASCAR. Really, the last decade, Denny Hamlin and Logano were are the two most hated drivers in NASCAR. It was kind of like a passing of the torch moment, or like a foreshadowing moment. Hamlin's more of a sentimental favorite now. Logano is easily still the most hated driver. But just the aura of those last 11 laps, Kyle Busch not having the best car still made it work, just passed them both, nonchalant, really stuck out to me. From this point on the list, it's going to be all wins from 2015 onwards, when I was a fan watching weekly. And the first one, the 2015 Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma. Who knew that Kyle Busch would enter his prime after breaking his leg and breaking his foot? I had no idea. I thought he was cooked low-key. I thought he would never be the same. He goes out there on a road course, puts on a clinic, emotional victory, and it was the first time that Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch, the brothers, finished 1 and 2. And this really kick-started what was to come the next 5 years of just Kyle Busch dominance. And at the time, well, yeah, I wasn't a big Kyle Busch fan. I didn't deliberately hate him just yet, but I was on the dislike train. But this win was a feel-good story and just kick-started his peak. And it really stuck out to me. No crutches necessary. Kyle Busch wins at Sonoma. Iconic. The 2017 Overton's 400 at Pocono. Kyle Busch went 0 for 20 to start the 2017 season. First 20 races, no wins. He found every single way to lose a race that season. Blown tire, bad pit call, crash, you name it. And the reason why this win, while he won by like 5 seconds, not really a contest, I was there in person. And while I didn't like Kyle Busch, this is when I really started not like Kyle Busch, he went from like 4th to 1st in like 2 laps in the Gen 6 at Pocono.
This big of a difference, but you put Kyle Busch in that situation, you know what he can do.
Contact there. The 18 gets into the back of the 4, moves him out of the way. Here comes the 18. He'll take the lead away from Harvick.
You don't really do that. That's kind of hard. Plus, early in the race, he like made a move on Matt Kenseth on the outside. That was just peak Kyle Busch, man. Making passes no one thought were even possible. And this win kick-started a really good end to his season, winning 4 more races. Another one of those wins actually on this list as well. I feel like I had to put at least one of the wins I saw in person on this list because at the time, I didn't like it. It's Kyle Busch, of course. So went so far into the season with no win, and he gets his win. But it has emotional value now that he's no longer with us, and I wish I appreciated that win more at the time. Another 2017 win made this list. The 2017 first day to 500 at Martinsville. Why? This was his 5th and final win of the year, won in an amazing overtime battle with Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin. But this race was truly the passing of the torch. From this race on, I feel like Kyle Busch was never the most hated driver in NASCAR again. After Denny Hamlin took out Chase Elliott, fans were going wild. Like, oh my God, Chase Elliott, you can't do that. You can't touch Bill Elliott's son. Kyle Busch winning that race, I was actually happy. Because I was, I'm a Hendrick guy. You know that. And I'm going to support Chase Elliott because he's Jeff Gordon's replacement. So seeing Denny Hamlin take him out, I was so mad at Denny Hamlin. So mad. So seeing Kyle Busch win, that was the only time that season when he won that I was actually happy that he won. I just remember watching that race with my family in New York, visiting my grandma. We were like glued to the TV the last 100 laps. Well, at least I was. My parents were following along. And even they were like, oh my God, Hamlin's taken out. Oh my God, Kyle Busch barely beat Truex. It was just an iconic night for NASCAR, and the race as a whole being so good, and the way Kyle Busch won that race made it really stick out to me. The 2018 Overton's 400 at Chicagoland. The first half of 2018 was terrible. Some of the worst NASCAR racing I've ever seen. The same 3 guys, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, winning every single week. The racing was dull. Guys were winning by 10 seconds. Even the super speedway package was bad. Could not catch a break for that entire first half of that season. Rough. Then this race happened. And this was like the peak of me hating Kyle Busch. Keep that in mind. That classic race and finish between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. I was rooting for Kyle Larson. Seeing Kyle Larson get spun off the nose of Kyle Busch in the final corner, I think I was in Virginia for this race at my sister's dance competition. I was punching my bed so hard. But that's the thing. As much as I hated this win at the time, it made me feel genuine emotion. There's very few times that I genuinely get emotional to some degree watching a race. That was the angriest I ever was watching a NASCAR race. Even more angry than like when Jeff Gordon had his heartbreaking 2014 loss. More heartbreaking than the first half of Suarez's career. That made me angry, which is why I love that win so much. That race saved the season too. That win saved the season, because after that, we got more winners. We got better finishes, a decent championship battle, a lot of drama, and Logano ultimately won that championship. And like, what the hell, Logano, really? He was like not even in the big three. But that race kick-started a good 2018 season, because that first half was a dumpster fire. So Kyle Busch did that. And of course, his post-race interview, if you don't like that kind of racing, don't even watch.
Team Cup Series champion.
Got to where we needed it right there at the end, and was able to lead all those laps. And if it wasn't for lap traffic, it wouldn't even have been a race. I don't know what y'all are whining about, but if you don't like that kind of racing, don't even watch.
The 2019 Ford EcoBoost 400 at Homestead. Kyle Busch got a lot of crap for winning that 2015 championship because he missed a third of the season. How can a guy who misses a third of the season genuinely be considered a championship caliber guy? He proved everyone wrong in 2019 by putting a full season together. The first year, mind you, that I was actually rooting for Kyle Busch, because going into 2019, I decided I'm going to start respecting Kyle Busch. And he had a great year, 5 wins, beat out his teammates Hamlin and Truex at Homestead. He rode around the track with his son in the passenger seat. Good stuff. It made up for all the criticism he got for winning that championship in 2015. Mind you, I don't care what you say, Kyle Busch is still a legit 2-time champion because he got robbed in 2018, dude. Absolutely robbed. He was the real champion that year. In 2019, also that win right there, I was happy for Kyle Busch, but that also marked the end of Kyle Busch's prime. The wins were more few and far between after this race. He wasn't truly a legit championship threat from this point on, which is why this win really stuck out to me, to put all those haters in their places. He won a legit championship. The 2020 Auto Trader, the 2020 Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500 at Texas. Kyle Busch had a pretty bad 2020, definitely slumped. The COVID restrictions, no practice, no qualifying. Not the same Kyle Busch we are accustomed to, but again, keep in mind, I'm a fan here. I'm a fan at this point of Kyle Busch. So seeing him struggle was like, oh, dang, that kind of stinks. This win saved his winless streak. If he didn't win this race, he would have went winless for the first time in his Cup Series career. A whole season without winning a singular race, and he saved that streak with the third to last race of the season. The race as a whole was boring. It finished like on a Wednesday due to weather. I'll always remember that Skittles zombie car, because Skittles is my favorite candy. So seeing him win that 6 zombie Skittles car was pretty cool. And just like, it was a comeback win. A good comeback story. And then lastly, the last win on this list. I wanted to put at least one RCR win. He has 3, all in 2023. I ended up going with the 2023 Pala Casino 400 at Auto Club. This was his first win with RCR. And to win in your second race, after, switching teams, it was a big statement, and I really thought Busch would consistently be a legit threat in this 8 car. Tyler Reddick showed speed in it, but Kyle Busch won 3 of the first 15 races that year, came out of the gates hot, just a week after losing the Daytona 500 again in heartbreaking fashion. But I remember seeing a lot of cheers, or hearing a lot of cheers after that race concluded. People were happy that Kyle Busch won. He also won the last race at Auto Club Speedway, a great track that should still be on the schedule, but they killed it. But out of those 3 RCR wins, that one really stood out to me the most because it was just like turning a new leaf. He won 2 more races to end his career, and then the last couple of years wasn't able to win again. Unfortunate, but this win was a statement. Dominated that race. A good story. And I remember I bought a die cast of the Lucas Oil number 8. It's on my shelf somewhere over there, actually, because it was like, iconic. So yeah, those 10 wins in particular made me feel something more than just the average NASCAR race. Some of it has to do with the fact that I became a Kyle Busch fan at a certain point. Some of it has to do with what Kyle Busch did after the race or in the race, how the race was as a whole. I didn't want to pick the most generic choices, like, Kyle Busch's Brickyard win, Kyle Busch's first championship, Kyle Busch's Coke 600, not the 10 biggest wins, my 10 personal favorites. I still miss him, man. It just still does not feel real that he's gone. I thought I should pay some homage to Kyle Busch because he did so much for the sport and made me feel every type of emotion possible. And every time he won was a big deal looking back on it now, but these 10 really stood out to me more than the others. But yeah, my 10 favorite Kyle Busch wins, no particular order. Just thought I'd make a fun little video paying homage to the legend, Kyle Busch. I hope you all have a great day. Summer now, it's getting nice out. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Peace, guys.